Hey everyone, it's Two Pretty D's back with you again with our next episode, 33, where we're talking about Meghan not silenced.
Princess Meghan, by the way.
Yes, Queen, Princess, all of the above.
And it's Archetypes. This is the podcast that Meghan will be having from, I think she's going to have how many, 12 episodes?
I don't know, but I'm loving all of it.
Yes.
I'm just glad it got kick-started, and
exactly.
we were pleasantly surprised with the first episode. Mm-hmm. And, do we want to talk about how it kind of got inspired, or at least from the words from after we listened?
Well, yeah, the definition of the archetypes is a typical example of a certain person or thing. And another definition is original that has been imitated. And let's face it, Meghan is the original.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
She is the archetype.
She is the archetype, right?
Yes.
And so we're just going to talk. One of the things they did it was an excellent podcast. The way the music, the way they had commercials and everything was just so on point, so professional.
Well, think about it. Meghan has always been very thoughtful in her method and how she goes about projects. So like you said, even with the commercials, they were all women-owned companies and things and products that they were talking about.
Yes.
It was all a case of just also, really the way the flow and the relation.
Yeah.
So...
And well, one of the things they kicked off, they started talking about the different words, right?
Yes.
That people use to define women. And it's really not to define women. It's really to crush us. It's really to destroy women because we have bitch.
Yes.
The B word. They talked about, ambition. Even positive words they use negatively against women. You're a gold digger, you're competitive, you're a social climber, you're what are some of the other things?
Well, I think the ambition
competition,
or competitive, yes. I think the ambition one really stuck to me personally, because why can't we be ambitious, right? Why is that a negative? Yes, I am. And why would women not be? Right? Why can't we? And in the example, and when we get to that point, in our kind of dissection of her podcast, a podcast about a podcast,
right?
We'll dive a little deeper into that, but it's interesting the words and how she kind of crafted her first episode.
Yeah,
so I think it was awesome.
Yeah, and how for women it's negative, but for men it's always a positive, and we've seen that played out in. I'm sure everybody has seen it played out in their own life, whether it's their personal life with their families, or with in a career, on a job. You've seen it played out.
And what's interesting is the fact that Meghan kind of started off with her actual experience herself, her childhood, and how it kind of kick-started
who she is.
Yeah,
and one of the things Meghan did was talked about her early childhood and how that commercial affected her. You've all seen that commercial, and she mentioned how in that commercial they talked about women doing a certain job, and that affected her because the next day the boys were in her class.
It wasn't just affected, and Meghan was like, hold the phone, excuse me.
Yeah, she had a little attitude back then.
Back then she still got that attitude. People don't realize.
Yes. So she wrote to Hillary Clinton, Gloria Allred, and some others, and she received responses from the both of them.
Yeah, because she was like, this is some BS.
Yes. And within a month, not long had passed, that these women went out and made that change. So
they challenged that corporation, that company for that commercial,
right?
And they changed the wording in the commercial, so it wasn't as
offensive.
Yes.
So
I was going to say sexist, but
So she was able to see the fact that she could have on making change. So that was her first lesson.
Well, that, and then also words, the
Yes.
words that they used and chose to use.
Exactly.
How that also
impacted other girls.
And then how boys are treating the girls, and then, you know, in the society as a whole.
Exactly.
So yeah, she was like, we're gonna make this change.
Yes. And the next thing she talked about that, she talked about it a little bit later, was when she went to the Little Red Schoolhouse.
Immaculate Heart.
Immaculate Heart.
Yes.
And when you think about religion, a lot of people who studied religion, any religion that you're involved in, when you get into that religion, you're pretty much into it. I mean, it consumes you. You live your life around it. Your friends are all in that religion. After a while, and you do everything for that religion. And you shun, a lot of what times you don't have close friends that are not within that religion.
Right.
Right. So you have
almost kind of cult-like.
Yeah, very cult-like.
But not in a negative way.
Not in a total cult where they cut
not
you
Jim
off.
Jones.
Kind of cult, right?
But definitely.
But it's a cult.
Yeah. But there's elements that, yes.
And if you all doing the same thing with certain people, it's like, well, even if you have a friend that's a Catholic, and, you know, they're always doing something different. You want to go to brunch on Sunday.
Right.
She's going to mass and you know, saying her, doing penance and confessing to the priest and all these different things. I'm having a mimosa. So you would tend to grow apart. So, so the religions and the different groups you belong to would tend to isolate you and keep you away. So when she talked about how those nuns didn't want to wear the habit that they were wearing, and they took that back to the church and they said, no.
And they were like, excuse us?
Yes.
Right.
So for nuns to walk away from that, you know, to leave that denomination and totally walk away, they didn't totally walk away from the religion, but they walked away from...
They didn't walk away from the faith and the belief. They walked away from the structure of that organization...
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's a powerful structure.
Yes.
I mean, being a nun, being Catholic, you know, it's a powerful structure.
I mean, look how long it's...
there were movies about that, you know.
Movies, many historical events that have occurred from that said religion.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about the battle between Catholic and Protestant.
Yeah.
The Crusades, all this stuff. Yes.
And even being a Protestant, that too, you know, even being an Anglican, that too is, I mean, everything is... You're committed. You're in that group. It's like a sorority, you know. And to walk away from that, it was big. So that's something that Meghan experienced and was able to see. That was the establishment. And if these women could walk away and still keep themselves whole, it showed. I mean, it was a lesson for her that she needed to have.
Right, and it wasn't about the structure or the organization. It's really about. What is the teachings? What are they supposed to be learning? What do we gain from that versus living to these set of rules and you know
and I think that's what made it less
protocols
less painful for Meghan to walk away from the royal family.
Oh no, that was easy.
Because of her history, because of what she went through.
Yes, from a young age.
From what she learned from a young age is like, you know, we don't need to adhere to the structure to do what we want to do. Service is universal.
And she said, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, and the same thing with Harry.
Well, I know. I mean, but, you know, people might think, well, what do you mean the same thing with Harry? He was observant of his mother. He watched everything that she did. You know, he loved his mother and, you know, certain things that he currently does today, all in respect of his mom. And to see what she went through in the royal family and how they treated her. And I know a lot of people saw the HBO special, The Princess, and we still have yet to see it. We're not going to say nothing about that. We'll talk about that later, about our HBO Max. Okay, so we can go see it.
We have to get together and see. But the fact that he saw
But if it's like the one that we saw on Netflix, her actual documentary where she actually stated the you know, how she felt, what she experienced, and then dealing with such an organization and that structure.
Yeah, imagine he has had privilege, he had safety, albeit, not perfect, because I'm sure they treated him like crap within that family. We all have family members when we get around for a family
We all got
reunion
those trifling rumors.
that
Yes.
treat you like crap, and you're the black sheep or whatever.
Exactly.
But you don't want to leave that family for fear of there's nothing else out there for you.
Right, because you don't want to feel abandoned, you don't want to feel alone,
right.
and you want to have a sense of some kind of community.
Yeah.
Some people stay in that abuse,
Right.
and then others choose to,
It's
you know
sort of
what,
like-
let me get away.
You know what? It's sort of like staying in, what's that group in Lancaster, Pennsylvania?
Like being Amish?
Like being Amish.
Yes.
Even if you grow up and you feel, this is not for me, you don't want to leave because you don't want to be shunned.
Right.
Because once you leave, all the friends and relationships...
You're shunned, you're out.
Yeah.
You're out on your own.
Exactly. So for Prince Harry, it was like, it's
The
a
same
shunning.
way.
It's
Yeah.
a shunning,
Right.
from the royal family and stuff. So, but he was strong enough to leave, be able to say, I don't have to stay in this
Correct.
abusive environment. I can leave the structure.
Correct.
And that's two strong people there.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, two strong people.
And I think he knew since 12, since his mom, since her passing, he always had I think in the back of his mind.
Right.
But to have them both have that same type of similar background, similar experiences.
Exactly, to lead them to where they are right now.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about Meghan and her best friend.
Her homegirl.
I know.
And she was said it too.
One of the things that the British media said about Meghan,
Good
they
Lord.
said
Those people.
she was a gold digger. They always said she made friends with famous people and would always keep them for a certain time. When they weren't useful, she would abandon them. I don't know where they got that.
I sense a lot
narrative.
of projection.
Yeah. Because what we found out during Archetypes, at least maybe some other people knew it before, but I didn't. It's like, she's like, they talk about their first meeting.
I know, when they were at that game and they did that a celebrity event.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And they stayed friends since then. And
Yeah, but she said, Meghan was like, I saw Serena, and she's like, oh my God, there's Serena. And she's like, she's walking this way. And she's like, okay, who's she walking to? Let me look back.
You're right.
Let me look back. Oh, nobody behind me. Oh, it's me. So there, that gold digger was no kind of gold digger.
Nope.
She didn't run up in Serena's face
No.
and get all in her face and try to be best buddies.
And I have a feeling that's why Serena probably did walk over to her. She was
Yeah.
like, she is probably the most normal person out
here.
here.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And so they've been
They've been
buddies
close this whole
ever
time.
since,
Yes.
And during this podcast, you get to learn how close they
I know.
are.
And the
Yeah.
experiences that they had together.
Uh-huh.
And then, big moments like for when her retirement.
Yeah.
And she talked about how she had a conversation with, she called him H.
I can hear you. What?
Serena called him H.
Yes, she did. She called Harry
And I was
H.
like, oh my God, that's so cute.
Yeah, she sent them the whole retirement article
Right.
way before she even published it, and evidently Serena was talking with Harry. I think they're coaching buddies or something.
Yes.
With BetterUp.
I think they're like work brother and
Buddies.
sister.
And Meghan was gone for a while. She came back. She said
Yeah.
after an hour, and she's like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" And Harry was trying to talk Serena down off of a cliff.
I know, because she was trying to go rogue and be like, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm out. I'm just going to be out.
I'm just gonna be out. Oh,
Yes.
I'm going. And he was like, "No, you can't stop."
Or you got to transition out. You can't just stop cold turkey.
I know.
Yes.
I don't know what he was saying, but maybe something like that was going
No,
on.
I think it went down like that. Yes.
But I mean, there's a couple who they're very close and
Yes.
they talk all the time. And
Yeah.
for you to reach out to them and say, okay, this is what I'm going to,
that tells you how
struggling
deep
with
of a
that-
level of a
exactly,
relationship.
of a friendship that they have.
Well, and then when Serena got married and then she got pregnant with Olympia,
Right.
and the struggles she had then, and she reached out to Meghan, and Meghan knew about her struggles and
Yes.
dealing with the she had blood clots, right?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, life-threatening
Stuff, yeah.
and then the way that she was being treated in the tennis community.
Right. Yeah, when she talked about, and Meghan was always there to support her when she talked about.
It was around those
was
double
it a French
standards?
Open? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Double standards, totally.
Or was it Australian?
I
It might have been Australian.
Yeah. When they were everything, they would call out when it wasn't.
Right.
And, just everything to mess with using these words. These, I guess, to try to control her. Power hungry.
Yes.
It's like she needs to. She knew the fix was in. She said, when they were just calling things.
Left and right in that one
yeah.
game, and then how come she's not allowed to
vent? Yes,
vent and let out her emotions.
Exactly.
When we as women vocalize our anger or
about
our frustration
with each other, we have to keep it in. That's stress on us.
It is.
That's what's killing us.
It is. But she vocalized and released her frustration.
Right,
but
she said one time she did it. She was penalized a game.
Yes, I remember that.
And she said that never happened before. And
in her entire career.
And then you have McEnroe, and we knew he was the bad boy
when
tennis.
Meghan said, play the clip.
Yeah. You had him.
Homegirl was ready.
Yeah.
And they had all those sound bites. It was John McEnroe. You had Djokovic. All of them. All of these
have acted up.
Yes.
At one point in time, and they called the referee. He's blind. He's stupid. Whatever.
All kinds of names.
All kinds of names.
And cursing and throwing of items.
Right.
And they look at that as, oh well, they're just being passionate or whatever. But
exactly.
if a woman were to do it,
she's angry.
Yes.
Something's wrong. She's power hungry. She's too competitive.
And since when did competitive become negative?
I know, but they use that against Serena. Even women.
Yes. Well, they use that against.
Use that against Serena to this day.
Yes.
These and these commentators, whenever they come
Still
on,
hating.
I just hate them coming on and saying just to come on to say crap about Serena because you were not as good as Serena. I'm not going to say anything, but your name might start with a C, Chris.
And might sound like a Forrest Everett.
Yeah. But when you put women down like that, you're not doing anything for yourself. You just
men who do that are just horrible.
Yeah.
But other women who do that to other women.
Yeah. Men have stood by Serena more than women tennis players.
I know, and I love her
Serena.
and her relationship with Andy Murray.
And
yes.
Nadal.
Yes.
I mean, awesome.
Yeah.
But
But now it's also the same relationship she has with Hat.
Exactly.
Well, she doesn't call him Hat. She gets to call him H.
When do we get to call him H?
I don't know.
Think there'll ever be a time?
Maybe.
We are 1 degree of separation from Harry. No, we're not.
Okay, somebody over here.
My friend is 1 degree of separation from I think, yeah.
Yeah, 1 degree.
So we are technically 2 degrees.
2 degrees. 2 degrees.
Oh, we 1 degree. I think we are. But anyway,
we can upgrade.
So
it.
we met Obama.
Yes. Yeah. So technically, there you go. Boom.
Yes, we're
1 degree
from Meghan.
Boom.
It was at a rally in Philadelphia.
But that was young Barack.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But anyway, let's.
Yes. Oh, sorry. We digress. But back to the
archetypes.
Yes.
And one of the things that one of the things that society tells women is like to hold you back. This like, okay, you need to lessen yourself.
Be less.
Yeah, be less.
Oh, hell no.
That's what they told Meghan. Be less.
Yes, they told her to be 50% of herself.
Of herself, yeah.
I ain't never heard no bullshit like that.
You know why? Look what Meghan and Harry have accomplished since January.
A lot
of important things.
Yes.
Versus
Mumbles, McButtons,
yes,
the other bias.
Who who the news, there's no competition, but the news is always comparing them, right?
Okay, that's because someone's insecure and always has to compete.
Exactly. So, and there's nothing to compete about. There's nothing on your
Look,
side
I'm
of
sorry.
the column. If I would put in a list,
Yes.
there's nothing on your side of the column. It's just blank.
Somebody did put a list of Mumbles versus Meghan.
You did do a couple of walkabouts. You had a certain outfit on that resembled Meghan's. You know, it's the Archetypes, it's the original. You're trying to copy the original.
Exactly.
And you're going to mumble something and nobody's going to understand it. And you're from an English country. God. It's like, they're Africans who can speak better English.
And we speak multiple languages.
Exactly.
She only speaks one.
One.
Exactly. And who is supposed to be the superior? Anyway,
yeah. There are no superiors. But
right.
Anyway, so, you know, with that ambition thing and they're wanting her to be less, I think that's one of the things that the royal family try to hold her back.
Yes.
And trying to dull her voice. I am so glad she's no longer there because we're hearing her voice.
Yes.
Exactly. And
she has always been vocal and learned that from her mother. Right? Don't hide yourself. Don't,
exactly.
You know, scuttle down. No.
I know.
Express yourself. Stand up for yourself. Be you, Meghan.
Exactly.
And she did.
And you hate to give people bad news. You hate to tell people stuff. You cut them off silently. They don't know they cut off.
Well, see, there's different ways to do it, right? There's different techniques. And I think our homegirl, Meghan, her technique might not be as
like yours, but it's
no, but it'll cut you with a knife and you won't even know you're getting cut.
You won't even, yeah, exactly.
You might enjoy, oh, she's got a knife out.
Yeah. Oh, I visited her and I took some pictures, so I'm going to post it on Instagram to show that we know each other. And next thing you know, you pick up the phone to call her and she's not answering.
And you receive a letter from her lawyer.
No, you didn't really receive a letter, but you've been cut off.
I know, right?
You've been cut.
Oh, like homegirl who tried to take a photo of her children without her consent.
Exactly. During a Zoom meeting and a mom. Exactly. We're not going to talk about it. We just talked about it. Yeah.
We did.
But we're not going to talk
Well, no, I
about
meant
it.
the other one too.
Yeah.
The other friend.
Yes. When Archie was a little boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the privacy of someone's home, and why are you gonna do that?
Exactly.
Don't make no sense.
Yeah, I've never reposted
I'm
that.
sorry if Meghan's coming over with little Archie. Oh no! Everybody hide your cell phones. We'll have a. You know what? I'll create a skiff.
Yeah. Okay. I might take some pictures. She might let me take some pictures.
Putting in a skiff.
But that's going in my will. When I die, that's the only time you know that I was
The private
important
archives?
enough. Yeah, the private archives. When my library is open.
Yes.
But so anyway, so they have, try to make her less, and it's part of it is to squash her ambition because they don't want the rest of the public to realize that, and I think I posted this, or I don't think I'm stealing it. I think I posted it, that they are pulling a scam. The royal family is pulling a scam on England. They're not going out and doing nothing. They're going out dressing
scam in the book.
Yes. Showing like, oh, we really care about you. We really care about these charities. So we're going to smile and pat them on the head.
And we're going to give you a plaque.
Yes.
With a little curtain.
They gave the royal family a plaque. So they have to spend money on the plaque instead of using it for charity. And that's going to raise people's awareness to donate to you because we support you.
Because we showed up.
Yeah, because we showed up.
We took a photo.
Oh, I'm so tired.
I hugged
Let's
that
go back
child.
to the castle. Let's go back to Kensington.
Wait, but before we go to the castle, can we take a ride in the helicopter?
Only if we're going to the country home.
The country
We're going to the country home, and somebody needs to leak what goes on in the country. I'm not talking about that other stuff. I'm talking about the parties and the dresses and the gowns and
whatever that other thing
all
they
that
do
other
out
stuff they
in nature.
do without people. No, we ain't talking about nature. I'm talking about the sophisticated, normal stuff.
Right.
That they do outside of the public eye. that the public doesn't get to see.
Well, apparently it's debauchery and raunchy.
But it's a lot of wealth. It's a lot of festivals and all that sort of stuff away from the public while the public is starving. So that's what's going on
like
while
I said,
in the
when
country.
they doing it is some raunchy.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, because some of them are bored. Some of them are bored. So when you're bored, what do you do? And you have all this money. What do you do?
Stuff.
It's sex, drink, and what
Was
else?
it Sex, Lies, and something videotape?
Yes.
Oh no, that's a movie. That's a movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's why they wanted to make Meghan to be less of a soft, using that archetype against her.
Saying she's too ambitious. No, slow your roll. No.
Right.
No, we
just talk about them saying she's a gold digger, or them saying that she's calculated and she's she's ambitious. And
she's a social climber. None of those.
No, none of those mean everything.
Yes.
And we've talked about the
But she is ambitious. Now we will say, and I love her ambition.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's young. I was ambitious as her, or even more, when I was younger.
Right.
Because I wanted to move up in my career,
And that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, because you want
and then
better
you pass
for your family.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then you pass it on to the next generation. Like little Archie. Shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Besides the fact that he already got 2 jobs.
Yeah. Right. Didn't I tell
His
you?
chicken.
Exactly. You have to get a master's.
Yes.
I've been pushing you. You got to go for it. You got to get a PhD.
Yep.
I'll be saying this till I die. Where's your PhD? You didn't come home with no PhD?
Or I come back with a what is it? JD.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Let's wait. So one of the things that, the coldness of why separating Meghan, having her be less. One of the things that we found out in this
in their conversation was some of the things that happened.
Exactly.
That the public didn't know.
Right.
So
we didn't know.
Well, I was
shocked. There was a fire, people, in little Archie's nursery.
Yes, when they were in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Now, of all the places in that home, why did that happen in his nursery?
Exactly.
I know this could happen. It's a fluke thing. It's a fluke accident. It could happen, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Only because you would think for the level of dignitary that they are and where they're traveling, everything would have been inspected and checked to a T.
And I ain't blaming African people.
No. Nope. I'm not talking about them. No.
I'm talking about the others. But,
the others, yes.
And the fact that her babysitter
knew. I'm so glad she had the inclination, the nanny. Yeah. The nanny had the inclination to say, let me go ahead and take
Let me wrap little Archie in my cloth.
Yeah, because I'm going to go do some stuff. Let me go ahead.
You hang on my back, baby.
Yes. I got you, man.
I'm going for a snack for you and me. We're both going to get a snack. And she took him out. So when that fire happened, he was supposed to be in his bedroom.
And thank goodness he was not.
And he would have inhaled that smoke and probably not been here. Would have been smoke inhalation.
Yep.
And it didn't happen. And
thank God. God. You know what? God was watching over them.
Exactly. Yes. I know the only thing that woman was placed there for a reason.
Yes.
Just like the reason that first babysitter was fired, who was hired by Jason Knopf.
Thank goodness she got rid of.
Yeah.
She knew he was a snake. Meghan sensed the snake and was like, nah.
She was probably taking pictures.
I think so.
And doing a whole lot of stuff about Harry and Meghan and the kids and her son to pass on to William.
Yes.
And I said his name, I called him out, to use against her. And thank God they fired her butt after one night.
I know.
I don't know what she was doing. We don't know what she was doing.
But it's horrible, the fact that whatever it is, that heinous.
It
that
went down.
Ugly.
Yeah. She had to go that same night.
Yes.
Yeah. No, let's...
And don't get me wrong. I love that Meghan don't play. But the fact that someone would even have the audacity to do that.
Exactly. Do something. And this woman was just so professional, so loving towards them, and so
she knew what was up. She knew who she was taking care of.
Yeah, but something's told her, let me take him.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to listen to that inside voice.
Oh,
And
she listened to the
that
instinct. She listened to her gut, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Come on, man, we gonna
Yes.
strap you up. Let's
But the
go."
fact that they wouldn't let them say, well, let's skip this next engagement. Let Meghan hold Archie. Let her hug him for what could have happened.
Yes.
They were so cold. They were like,
There's some
no,
ugly
you have
mofos.
to exactly.
Like, no, you have to continue on the schedule.
Exactly.
Like, fuck y'all.
It's
Excuse
like,
my French.
I can't even say that.
You knew you were thinking it.
I hear
She said it. I'm sure she said it. She probably said it in French and they didn't know what she was saying, but still.
But yeah, that was, I can't imagine that.
I know.
Yeah, that's how cold they are.
Yes.
If it was the other people, they would have said, oh no, you hug on to that.
Oh my God, you have to be with your baby. You don't know. We can
Exactly.
cancel, we'll reschedule, we'll do this, blah, blah, blah. No.
And so anyway.
But to find out about that.
Exactly. And then one of the things Serena said,
guess who knew
is
about
you
it?
were under stress.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were under a lot of stress. So she knew what kind of stress she was under, because they were both talking with each other. And that was funny how they were competitive. When she said, Serena, you made pregnancy look so sexy. And Meghan was like, I was just waddling around.
Oh, yeah. And she was like, you were all sashaying and all this kind of stuff.
She was like, well, you were under a little stress. You had to just waddle. That's what women do. It's like, yeah, there's my belly out there. I hold it up. Yeah. I'll just waddle out for this walkabout. And I'd go back home.
Where she sees Serena all sashaying.
In
the
these
beautiful
gowns,
gowns.
showing off her breastises.
Yes, look at this. Look at that belly. Look at that.
Yeah. She's holding her belly, but it's like in a beautiful gown.
I know.
And poor Meghan is like, they were compared. That was so fun.
But the fact that Meghan also knew about
Yes.
what happened with Serena,
Yes.
and then, she felt bad as a mother.
Right.
She was getting ready for a match or no. She was
getting ready for a match.
Yes.
And she had Olympia with her, and Olympia fell and broke her wrist.
right.
So there she had to spend a whole time in the hospital.
Right.
With Olympia. She didn't get any sleep, and she was just, as a mom, that was devastating.
Right.
And then she was like, oh, that happened on my watch. She
Right.
was probably like, yeah, I wish that happened on Alexa. on Pa's watch, not my watch.
I know, right?
Because he gets to come and now make all these fun pancakes for you.
I know, right?
And I make
And
you
then
break
this
your
is
arm.
what happens. No. Yeah, she probably did all that.
She probably did. And so that was funny. But the next day she went out and she won that
She
game.
won that game.
She won that
showed
match.
and proved those crazy ass.
Yeah, she won that match. So
Yes.
And so a lot of things women have to go through. I mean, let's face it. The one thing they talked about, remember when they said early when Harry was dating Meghan, she's straight out of Compton.
I love how Serena was like, no, you don't get to claim it.
You don't get to claim Compton.
No.
You were Compton adjacent.
But she was like, but you know who is?
I was.
But
I'm
also
the goat.
too.
Kevin Costner.
Yes, that's what we didn't
She
know.
listed all these people who were from Compton, and she said, "Megan, you don't get to claim it. You know, we're not from Compton.
You're adjacent.
You're just."
And I know people were probably shocked. Kevin Costner.
I know.
And then I'm like, that explains it.
Yeah, it makes the British people look stupid.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And racist, but
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, the way they ended this podcast,
Sure.
was to talk about what did they do? They talked about
The
3
words.
words. They said,
Well, she ended it with 3 words to describe yourself, right? So younger you, earlier age, and then now. Yes.
Right. And then, so we post those words online. And the question. And then she said, how would you define yourself?
Right.
How would you define yourself? As opposed to someone defining you. And how would you want
first
people
is
to
how,
see you?
Yeah. Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, you're right.
How would you want people to see you or view you? Mm-hmm. And, Serena answered those questions. But you know what? I think we all have to do that for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I challenge everybody listening in. You know, how do you define yourself? And then, you know, earlier you, and then now. And then how do you want the world to see you?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things, you know, after going through this and all the words that people use to hurt other people.
Right.
These two pretty D's, you know, we've been not really struggling.
We've been blessed.
But
it's interesting how words and how they play and
how they affect you,
right? And it can be positive or negative.
And we have this auntie who just passed away last week. And
rest in peace, auntie.
And we it's funny thing is the week before we were talking about her with someone else, with another cousin.
Yes.
And about this incident that happened.
Yep.
About the name for our podcast.
How we came up with it.
How did we came up with it.
Yes.
And so anyway, so a couple years ago, she was visiting us. And she came over and came up from Trinidad.
Yep.
And she was just, I think she took like 2 months. Yeah, before cool wind blew, because if the breeze blew and it was cold,
they was going home.
She was getting a ticket and going home. That's how our family visit. That's how we know when they're going home.
It's like
the
summertime is the only time they visit.
And they don't call us. They don't tell us.
Yes.
You find out, you're going home in October. No. If September, you get
a breeze in September, they're out.
They call the airlines and make their own travel arrangements. We want to go now. This is too cold. We can't handle it. But anyway, came to visit us, and we were going out, and we went out to Red Lobster was the thing back then. You know, we had a good time.
Yeah,
we were eating, having a great time. And you were born here. You know, I wasn't born here, but
I love how she's just telling all our stories and
okay,
stuff.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. But go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. I'm first generation.
She's first generation. So when I take her back, I rub it in.
It's all good.
They
know as soon as I talk, I'm y'all she a Yankee girl.
I made the uncle throw her in the ocean the way I learned how to swim, and she cried.
Because you don't do that.
I'm sorry. Okay. That's too much info, right? We went too far back.
You went too far back.
Okay, so back to us.
And no, full well I saw Jaws.
So anyway, we were just we were hanging around.
And we were liming,
having dinner, and talking. And I know from America has, we have words that hurt people.
Yes.
We have words like, Meghan and Serena talk, on Meghan Archetypes, she talk about the words that people use to try to define women in a negative way.
Right.
And there are words in the Black community that people use to define people.
Right.
That are, oh God, it's horrendous.
Correct.
But the way I brought you up is you didn't know about those types of things.
I experienced it, but it's not that I went purposely out to go find out.
Exactly.
And you made sure that, hey.
Yeah. Now we know everybody know about the N-word.
Right.
And when I came up here in this country, I was very young, so I didn't know about any other words.
Right.
But I did learn from my my Guyanese girlfriend that there's another word.
Yes.
That people use, and it triggers people really badly. I guess these other countries use it. I think
on the same level as the N-word.
N-word.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we
were just sitting around having dinner, having a good old time, right?
Yeah.
And we were laughing. And I think we were laughing about something. We always find something stupid to laugh about. Maybe it was a cheese bread. And what did she turn to us and say?
She was looking at us.
Yeah,
and then
why is she looking at us?
It's
like
weird.
That? Yeah, it's kind of weird, just staring at us.
Right, and then she's like, "You some pretty darkies."
Yeah, you're two pretty darkies.
Yes.
And I paused.
Now, mind you, I over here was like,
she was oblivious. What does that
whatever.
mean?
Yeah, I look good.
Yeah,
you damn right, I'm pretty.
My aunt calling me pretty. Oh, I was just so enamored with her. It was so sweet. I looked at my daughter, and we were like, "Ooh, we're pretty." But then, why she have to say?
But why she gotta add that? So I did kind of side eye this D over here.
Yeah. And I was like, man, it's just, it's old people. You know how sometimes you go in like a old place in the South and they call you colored.
Yes.
And you decide, okay, am I going to go over there and kill that lady or just move on?
Yes.
It's not worth it. She's too old. She's used it a lot. She's going to die using that wood. It's not worth, that's not
that battle I'm trying.
That's course you're going to die on.
Right.
You're going to let it go.
Right.
And so
we let that one go.
We let that one go, but
we took
I
that
remember
negative.
my friend who's like, it's so negative, it hurts people.
Yes,
and
that's part of the colorism.
It's part colorism. Of yeah, she's lighter than her husband, and she used to say that word "darky,"
right,
and he would flip.
Yes,
it was like a trigger word for him.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was like, I did not know this existed, but I think it existed, but I was too young when I left the island to understand the impact, you know? And I was sheltered from it. So when she said that, we were like, whoa. But anyway, we let it go. We were laughing.
Oh, no, we took the positive route.
We were
like, you damn right.
You were pretty. No, I'm getting older. I don't have that pretty anymore. But anyway.
Whatever. Don't even listen. Anyway, I know y'all listening. Don't listen to her.
We went to this.
She's still looking good.
Yeah.
And we don't crack.
When we were out of the mall, we were dressed up, right?
Yes.
And we were out of the mall. This white family was just looking at us. And, this was like a month or two after it happened.
Right.
And we were like, geez, what are they looking at us for? So we just looked at each other and we said, we're two pretty donkeys.
So then we shortened it.
That's we shortened it to two pretty D's. So I know some of you guys think, people think that
our names start with the letter D.
Maybe we're Denise or Debbie,
Diana.
No.
And then we thought we would go with the whole, Princess Diana and Queen Doria.
No.
Two D's.
No. But then, some of you probably thought, oh, they're divas. They're two pretty divas. No.
We thought about that too.
No, we didn't think about it. That's not why we think about it. It's two pretty D's. We were worried about what you guys were thinking.
Yes.
What you were thinking is like, we have to tell them because at some point we're going to have to tell them. But we decided when Archetypes came out, we was like, this is a
perfect time because
time to tell you.
Yes, because Meghan is talking about these words.
Ain't about divas.
And we weren't going to use that in a negative way. We took it in a positive.
It's not about having a name that start with D. Like we're both D names.
Right.
Like you're Deb and I'm Debbie. No, that's
okay. No offense to anybody out there named Debbie.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Who happen to be pretty.
Yes.
We just take that and and a lot of people like when we're out because we look alike so much.
Right.
It's like I made my clone. It's
twinning.
Like people was like, "You're two pretty D's." They look at us and we look at each other and we'll know. We just know. We don't even have to articulate it anymore.
Yeah.
We just look at each other and we're like, "Yeah." We're two pretty D's.
Yes.
So that's what we took from it. So sometimes, people are going to throw stuff at you. People in your family, people outside the family.
Yep.
And, that word doesn't describe us.
No.
It doesn't describe us at all.
And in the same way with Meghan and Serena. Mm-hmm. The words that they tried to use against them, they took it as a positive. Both women are ambitious and competitive in the most beautiful way.
And it just bounced off them.
Yep. Rolled off them like whatever.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it rolled off us like,
Yeah.
It's like, are they ignorant? Don't they realize I might have just insulted them? No.
No, you damn right I look good.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And just like, yes, I'm ambitious. You know it.
So it's like, but anyway, so that's our podcast.
No, but
we wanted to tell you, we was like,
yes.
We didn't know when we come out with explaining what two pretty D's mean, but that's what two pretty D's mean.
Yes, and we felt it tied into the archetype.
Yeah, and we don't mind people using it, but
wait, hold on.
Oh, just a D. That's a D.
Okay, I was gonna say, wait, what?
Yeah,
record stop.
Now you understand what it means. So.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed
it, and we totally enjoyed making first podcast, and
sometime, and we'll be back soon. We're still in the process of the whole transition, so
and there'll be another podcast coming.
Soon. More to come. Yes,
I can't wait. She's gonna have Mariah Carey on.
I can't sing. I can't hit that note. I was gonna do. But I can't do it.
You work on that.
You heard that? Yeah. No, that was horrible. That was scary.
Hopefully,
I'm scared.
Hopefully, nobody heard it.
They heard that, and they were like, "What was that? Is she choking?"
Let's unsubscribe. No, please subscribe to our podcast, and please help us whenever you can. Join or donate to our podcast so we can keep the content coming. While this other pretty dude is over here losing it, I'm gonna have her practice on her vocals. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.